So Ann, I've been doing some research on the JUNOS software claims from Juniper Networks, and I'm a little confused. Is it true that a solution from Juniper is based on just one operating system, delivered in one software release train, and built using one modular architecture?
Well, that's the claim. But dig a little deeper and you'll see that JUNOS is actually a family of operating systems sold and marketed under one name. So any multi-platform solution may actually include several unique flavors of JUNOS or other operating systems. Look, it's true that back in 1997, when Juniper introduced the M40, there was a single JUNOS operating system. But since then, the Juniper portfolio has expanded to include many products, each purported to run the same JUNOS OS. But in reality, while the name is common across the platforms, the underlying operating systems have significant differences. That's because JUNOS is really delivered in several platform-specific variants, including JUNOS E for E-Series, JUNOS for J-Series, JUNOS for M-Series, JUNOS for T-Series, JUNOS for MX-Series, JUNOS for SRX gateways, and JUNOS for EX switches. The OS on each platform may be called JUNOS, but each flavor provides different functionality and uses platform-specific software. For example, JUNOS for SRX doesn't support IPv6. Also, when the J-Series platform was introduced, it used a flavor of JUNOS similar to that used by the M-Series, but incorporated some unique access router features. Juniper called it JUNOS Packet Mode, or JUNOS for Legacy Services. Juniper then introduced JUNOS ES, which is a flow mode or enhanced services flavor of JUNOS. Then recently, Juniper renamed the software back to just JUNOS, further reinforcing the one OS illusion. But in reality, there are two fundamentally different versions of the JUNOS software, JUNOS Packet Mode and JUNOS Flow Mode. And the illusion continues beyond service provider solutions. Just look at the entire Juniper portfolio, and you'll see more than 12 different operating systems covering products used in the core, data center, branch, edge, and large enterprise, as well as in products required for adding mobility, security, policy, and unified communication services. Not quite one operating system, is it? Oh, and another little caveat on the whole simplicity claim. If indeed there is only one OS, then why are there inconsistencies across the Juniper platforms? Many physical interface cards or PICs aren't universally swappable across different routers and software releases. For example, there are major discrepancies affecting the circuit emulation PICs between the different platforms.
Okay, but what about the one release claim? I saw a Juniper video that shows several JUNOS releases over time for updates, bug fixes, etc. Doesn't every vendor do that?
Well, yes, every vendor issues new releases in a given year, but other vendors do not drop support of existing software releases as quickly as Juniper does. Let's look a bit closer at how Juniper releases and supports their software. First, service providers must be prepared for more frequent software upgrades. Juniper produces a new release every quarter, but only the Q4 release gets a 3-year support plan. And even in the supported version, only Priority 1 defects get fixed after the first year. Service providers now face a serious dilemma. Do they opt for an operationally expensive upgrade every quarter to get all of the latest features and bug fixes, or do they stick with a Q4 release that includes longer-term support but may not include fixes important to them?
Wow, over time that could cost my company a bundle. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what about the one software architecture claim?
Well, first keep in mind that JUNOS is a second-generation OS that was really developed over a decade ago for core routers, so the software architecture is not optimized for switching, data centers, or branch offices. For example, data center OSs should obviously support IP, but they should also be optimized for storage area network protocols. The multiple JUNOS versions have not been enhanced for these functions. Secondly, Juniper talks a lot about software modularity, but their modularity is very coarse. All management occurs in a single module, all routing processing occurs in another module, and so on. If we look deeper into the routing module, we see that it lumps all of the routing protocols together. If just a single process has to be restarted due to a software fault or upgrade, then the entire module needs to be restarted. This is a critical defect in the JUNOS software architecture. More advanced third-generation operating systems ensure different processes remain isolated and independent to avoid this problem.
Wow, thanks, Ann. This is a big decision for us, so it's good to know now that the Juniper Network's claim of one operating system, one software release, and one modular architecture for their solutions is more of an illusion than a reality.